So if you ask a lot of Manchester United fans about the opinion on their club's ownership, you're going to get a pretty similar answer. That the Glazers are a bunch of terrible, abysmal owners who should have never been allowed to buy the club in the first place. And for somebody who's not familiar with the ins and outs of the club, you're going to find that sentence a bit perplexing. And I can't blame you, because you're looking at a commercial powerhouse, you're looking at 9-figure transfer budgets, you're looking at superstars coming in and out of the door every transfer window, you're looking at a club with the third most amount of trophies over the last 18 years, only behind Chelsea and Manchester City. You're looking at all that, and you're thinking, it can't be that bad, right? Wrong. It is that bad. It is as bad as the fans say. It's easy to get fooled by the glamour and think everything's fine. But if you look underneath, there's a lot wrong with Manchester United Football Club under the Glazers. And you just have to do your due diligence. And I have taken it upon myself to do that due diligence. So let's take a look at why Manchester United fans hate the Glazers. Hello everyone, my name is Samuel, welcome back to the channel. It's been a year since I've made a video. It's just that I'm too lazy to film, to script, to edit, but this feels like too big an occasion to not come back. And I feel like this is the type of videos I wanted to make in the first place. So yeah, we're back with this. Enjoy the video. And also don't forget to like and subscribe because I want to make more videos. To make more videos, I need more motivation. To get more motivation, I need my views and stuff. I need my views on subscribers. So yeah, enjoy the video. The Glazer family, owner of then one-time NFL champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers, initially started with a minority share of the club, specifically a 2.9% stake for £9 million back in March of 2003. However, the amount of shares continued to gradually rise, and by November of the very same year, they already owned 15% of the club and 30% by October of 2004. Eventually, they had a full takeover of the club by 2005 for approximately £790 million. And this gradual process of buying minority stakes and eventually taking over the whole thing reminds me of that one time the great country of Britain colonized my country of origin. But we're not here to talk about that, we're here to specifically talk about Manchester United Football Club. So, back to the point, they eventually colonized the club, bought the club for £790 million. Bada bing, bada boom, we get new owners, everything is fine and rosy, right? Well, no. But you see, a lot of that £790 million, that didn't come off the Glazers' pockets. £500 million were secured through loans against the club's assets, which means, for the first time since 1931, Manchester United Football Club were in debt. In a lot of debt. Also, before we go, a little intermission, £500 million. This was in 2005. This was before the Wall Street crash, before this inflation. This was in a settled economy. This was a lot of money back in the day. And that was put on the club. Like, I promised myself I'll be neutral this video, but I can't. This is scummy behavior. We should have, everybody knew from the very start, thank f*** they're going. And back to neutral me. And from the very beginning, they made their intentions well known. This was never about results on the pitch, but about commercial value. We were supposed to be their cash cows. And even there's this one interview about Malcolm Glazer back in 2005 refusing to answer any questions about the club.
Would you give a message to the Manchester United fans who are, I think it's fair to say, desperate to hear from you and desperately interested in your plans for one of the great clubs of the world?
We're here today to celebrate the Super Bowl in Tampa in 2009, and it's a very important day, and I would hope you respect that. This community is here to celebrate that. These people here have worked very hard.
Thousands of Manchester United fans who are looking forward to hearing from Mr. Glazer, so I just wondered if you could at least send a message to the Manchester United fans of what is a period of real anxiety for them. Mr. Glazer?
Next question.
And it was not only them that made their opinions known. The fans, they were pretty clear themselves. The very first game after Malcolm Glazer's proposed takeover, around 300 fans vented their frustration. There were chants against the Glazer family, and in particular, Malcolm Glazer. Some even going as far as shouting threat. It took about 100 Greater Manchester police officers to make sure that the Glazer family got out of Old Trafford safely, which, in case you haven't clocked yet, is a lot of police officers. This was such a huge occasion that Sir Bobby Charlton had to come out and apologize to the Glazer family for how it's gone. And if they think that was the end of it all, they were sorely mistaken. For every single game, there were Glazer out protests. Green and gold to the club is sold. That was the overarching statement from the match. There was even this one time where we faced PSG in a Champions League game, and at the end of it all, David Beckham was wearing one of the green and gold scarves. Some United fans even vowed to never go to a game again as long as the Glazers are in charge, and they defected to build their own fan-built club called FC United of Manchester, which are currently in the 7th tier of English football. While this raging war between the owner and the fan base was going on, let's direct our attention back to the debt. This £500 million debt, which was put on the club when Malcolm Glazer first bought it. If you figured anything out by now, you know the Glazers aren't putting any money into the club, so which means the debt is always there. And you know how debt works, it just doesn't stay still. There's interest payments you have to pay off, and that accumulates over time. But that wasn't the only one, because you see, by 2016, the Glazers started taking more money out of the club in the form of dividend payments. So what are dividend payments? Actually, no one really knows. But according to Chairman Richard Arnold, dividend payments are a form of return to potential investors based on long-term profitability, which to my ears just sound like a whole lot of buzzwords. In actuality, it just fits in with the Glazers' initial intentions when they bought the club all those years ago, taking as much money out of the club as they can, and this is just another form of it. There's this saying among the United fan base about how City's owners have put in £1 billion into the club, and the Glazers have taken out £1 billion. And there is truth to that. With the debt, the interest payments, and the dividend payments, it's probably racked up to over £1 billion by now. £1 billion! It costed the club £1 billion. You can look at this graph over here about owners' investments over the last 10 years. Back in 2021, we are right at the bottom. Let alone investing, they're taking money out of the club. If they're profiting this much of the club, it really begs the question, why sell now? I was actually thinking of making a segment for each reason that I think they're going to sell, but everything I could think of comes back down to two reasons. Well, one reason, that there's nothing left for them to milk. The commercial side of things is at the lowest it's been for years. The finances are down. The club has 24 million liquid cash, and given that they're not going to invest any, it's not going to go that way. It's going to go that way. And the attendances over 2-3 seasons ago, because of COVID, weren't there, so the club was operating at a loss for some time. The player wages and player values are at an all-time high, which means you have to pay those as well. And the club's on-field performance is at an all-time low under their ownership. They haven't been Champions League regulars for quite a while now, and they are on the longest trophy drought for a very, very long time. Years of ignorance and negligence has finally caught up with the club and the Glazers. But that doesn't mean they haven't scraped the barrel. Project Big Picture, the European Super League, even selling minority shares of the club to raise money for Old Trafford renovations. They've all done that, but I'm not going to cover each of them here. You can go and read them out. They are really good articles about it. I can't cover everything in detail here. And they've tried everything. It didn't work. Now they are looking to sell on the club. They want to hold on to something, but given the fact that there's interest from Qatar, Saudi Arabia, fellow compatriots from the US, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe, I don't think that's going to be the case. At the very start of the video, I mentioned something about Chelsea and City having more trophies than us over the last 18 years, and it's no surprise as to why. They both got owners who put results on the pitch first over commercial value, even though both of them are controversial figures in terms of football ownership. While for us, it never looked like the relationship that was going to prosper. From the very moment they bought the club, it was clear for one reason and one reason only. And it's not results on the pitch. And now, 18 years later, we have enough evidence, we have enough proof to back up the claims. And whoever comes in next after the Glazers, they better have £1 to £2 billion of investment ready, because there's a lot of paying off to do. The debt, the interest payments, the dividends, the stadium and training facility renovations that should have been done on the Glazers but were neglected, the recruitment team updates. There's a lot of things that needs catching up, and it's all down to bad ownership for nearly 2 decades. And that's it for the video. Thank you all for watching, and if you stayed this long and you like this content, do give it a like, click subscribe, turn on the post notifications so that you don't miss my future uploads. I tend to make more videos like this where I just sit down and chat. So yeah, if you like this, stick around. I do need more subscribers, and do share it with both United fans and non-United fans. If there's anything I missed out, do let me know. I feel like I left out some things there. And yeah, that's about it. See ya. Take care.